Me and my wife have had a massive fight over the past few days. It has escalated to the point where I'm afraid we might be heading toward divorce. I'm turning here to try to gain some perspective and figure out who's really at fault, or if perhaps we both are. It all started 2 years ago when my wife gave me a Christmas gift that I initially thought was a dream come true. I opened a beautifully wrapped package and found a note that read, "The holder of this note is entitled to 1 week in Paris at any luxury hotel of your choice with the best VIP seating at Parc des Princes." I was over the moon. It has always been a dream of mine to go to Paris and see a match at Parc des Princes. I looked up at her and exclaimed, "Oh, wow, thank you, darling. This is amazing." But when I looked back into the box, I realized it was empty except for the note. I gave her a questioning look. She smiled and explained, "I thought I wouldn't book the tickets or hotel. It's better if you do that yourself when you know when you can go." I thought that sounded reasonable, practical even. A few weeks later, I found a week when I could take time off and mentioned it to her. "I'm thinking of booking the tickets to Parc des Princes in 5 weeks." She looked excited and responded, "Oh, that's great." "Can I get the money for the tickets?" I then asked, still thrilled. Her expression turned to pure surprise. "What money?" she asked. "For the trip, for the hotel and the VIP seats." "But I don't have any money for that," she replied as if it were obvious. It turned out I was supposed to cover all the costs myself, the trip, the tickets, the hotel, everything. I was dumbfounded. With my salary, which barely covers our expenses, it was impossible for me to go on the trip. I felt disappointed and hurt. The whole thing felt like a cruel joke. I just walked away. Over the past 2 years, the subject of the trip has come up now and then. Every time someone mentioned Paris, she would say things like, "When are you going on your trip?" Or, "How are the plans coming along?" I would always mumble something like, "Oh, it's in progress," and quickly leave the room. I couldn't even talk about it without feeling sad and frustrated. Once she asked, "Why do you never seem happy when I bring up your Paris trip? I gave you an amazing gift and you don't care." I replied, "How can it be a gift when I have to book everything myself, pick the dates, and pay for the whole thing?" She then responded in a tone as if explaining something obvious. "My gift is that you have my permission to go." I was speechless. It was as if she genuinely believed that permission was an incredible gift. I didn't know how to make sense of this, so I thought the easiest way might be to show her what I meant, with an example. So 3 days ago, it was my wife's birthday. After years of frustration and anger, I decided to give her a similar gift. I found a picture of a stunning diamond necklace, printed it out, and placed it in a beautiful box. She was over the moon when she opened the package. She jumped up and down, saying how much she loved me. "When are we picking up the necklace?" she asked excitedly. "As soon as you can afford it," I replied calmly. Her face went pale. "What do you mean?" she asked. "The necklace is yours, but you have to pay for it." She stared at me like I was insane. "Why would you give me a picture of a necklace if I'll never be able to afford it? What kind of sick joke is this?" I replied, "You misunderstand. My gift is that you have my permission to buy it." And that's when the fight began. Of course, it turned into a massive argument, which I probably should have foreseen in hindsight. She yelled at me, "How can you be so heartless? You gave me hope and took it away in an instant. You know I'll never be able to afford that necklace. How could you?" I replied that I was just mirroring what she had done with the Paris trip. But she refuses to see the similarities. She insists it's completely different. "I gave you a real gift. You're just being mean." Now we haven't spoken for 3 days. The atmosphere is ice cold, and I don't know what to do. I'm still angry and hurt about her view of the Paris trip, but I wonder if I went too far with my revenge gift. So, what do you think? Who's really the asshole in this situation? Should I apologize, or should she? Update 1. After reading some advice about showing care through a gesture, I decided to give her a big bouquet of flowers and write a long letter expressing my feelings. I hoped this would show how much I cared and help her understand that I was hurt. When I gave her the flowers and letter, she responded coldly, "What's this? Do you really think flowers and a letter can fix this? It's about you not realizing how much I sacrificed with that trip." I replied, surprised, "Sacrificed? You didn't give me anything at all." This quickly led to another fight where we realized just how differently we see the entire situation. Update 2. It's been a couple of days now, and I was advised to apologize even if I felt I was in the right. Sometimes it's not about winning an argument, but about showing humility to restore peace. I tried and said, "I'm sorry for how I handled the necklace. I should have been more thoughtful." Her response wasn't friendly. "That's not the problem. You need to understand that I never did anything wrong with the Paris trip. You've been unfair from the start." I ended the conversation feeling even more frustrated. How am I supposed to reach her? Update 3. I decided to have a calm and rational conversation with her to try to explain why I feel the way I do and why I acted as I did. Communication is key, after all. I said, "I want you to understand how I felt when I realized the Paris trip would never happen. It felt like I was given a dream only to have it taken away." But she was still angry. "So now I'm the villain. I tried to give you something nice, and all you do is throw it back in my face. I'm done trying to explain." The conversation ended with both of us walking away, even more upset. I'm starting to lose hope. As a last resort, I've decided to seek help from a therapist. Update 4. The visit to the therapist today didn't go as I had hoped. The therapist started by asking what I wanted to get out of the session, and I said my goal was to save our relationship. I turned to my wife and said, "I want us to move forward. I appreciate everything you do for our family, but the situation with the Paris trip hurt me more than I knew how to handle." She was completely cold. "It feels like you just want to put all the blame on me. Why can't you just let it go? I tried to do something nice for you and you ruined it." The session lasted over an hour, and the therapist must think we're both crazy. She looked perplexed, to say the least. Update 5. After everything that's happened and the many conversations that led nowhere, we've come to the conclusion that our relationship is no longer salvageable. Or rather, she has come to that conclusion. She has decided that we should get a divorce. The irony is that the whole situation began with her betrayal, but now I'm the one bearing all the blame. She has never been able to let go of what happened with the necklace, even though it was essentially a reaction to what she did first. I've tried to explain, apologize, and fight for us to work things out together, but now I feel like I'm fighting alone. I can't keep holding on to a relationship where we can't meet halfway, where every attempt at reconciliation is met with blame and coldness. It's painful to accept, but sometimes love isn't enough. Once trust is broken, no matter who broke it first, it can be hard to rebuild. Now I have to let go and try to find a way to move on, even though it hurts.
If you liked this story, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It helps a lot, and you won't miss out on any future stories. Take care and live your best life.